Hey, welcome to Felcraft. I'm Hammy and we're doing a 2-minute deck guide and preview of a new archetype coming up with Blackrock Mountain in Hearthstone, the Dragodin. We think there'll be a few varieties of Dragodin, but they'll take the core of a Midrange Paladin, equalities and consecration for control, shielded minibots for early game control, muster for battle for token sacrifice and board control, all-door peacekeepers for restricting big attack minions, and true silver champions for control too. Outside the core Paladin cards, take a look at Zombie Chow for early game control, Ironbeak Owl for silence, Anti-Killbot for heal, Sludge Belcher for mid-game anchoring with a tank, Thorician for reducing the cost of all cards. Blackrock Mountain makes this a Dragodin by taking the control Paladin core that we're used to for mid-range and marrying it with a really strong ramping dragon set of cards. The whole dragon tribe goes really well together and can pull out big late game threats, potentially even on turn 7, by using the new dragon card, Dragon Consort. In Solemn Vigil, you've got a card that can go really well with Muster for Battle and minion sacrifices for cheap card draw. Dragon Consort on turn 5 gives you the ramp by allowing you to play your next dragon for 2 mana less. Once you've got the table under control in the early to mid game, throwing down a Dragon Consort and ramping into cards like Hungry Dragon for 2 mana, a 7 mana dragon aspect like your Seraph, or maybe even Chromagus and Nefarian, depending on what dragons you fancy, should help you swing the game home. That'll be the Dragodin core, but we'll see a few different variations. Seraph's version of Dragodin jumps in and uses Chromagus to allow you to draw a bunch of late game cards and trade for the win. Ideally in a mulligan you'll look for Zombie Chow, Minibot, Muster for Battle and Blackwing Technician, with the Technician being triggered by the dragons later in your hand that you'll draw as you play. As you move into the mid game, look to Equality, Muster, Consecrate to clear the table and allow you to get a cheaper Volcanic Drake, costing 1 less for each minion that died this turn. As well as Volcanic Drake, Solemn Vigil can also be triggered off the death of minions to give you a really strong card draw into the mid game. Dragodin takes place in the mid game where you hit your dragon ramp. Try and look for Dragon Consort and then for Thorician, giving you cheaper dragons to play and letting you ramp hopefully into a turn 7 or turn 6 Chromagus, Ysera, or perhaps even a Nefarian. Other versions of Dragodin that people might go for might be dropping in more control cards, might be dropping in Harrison Jones, depending if the weapon metagame is quite heavy, as Blackwing Corruptor, potentially a Tyrion Fordring to swap out for one of the big drops, and of course maybe Alexstrasza or Onyxia could be choices depending on what your metagame's like and what you fancy. That's our quick summary of Dragodin and a few different ways that it might look like. Seraph's got a great list over on Hearthstone, so go and check out the link here, and remember that this deck will be evolving and moving throughout the month of April, so this is very much a preview rather than a full deck review or guide. However, hopefully you get a good idea of how it works.